What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. It is a nice Sunday out here. Check this out. We're out here in Mississippi today. It's really sunny outside, not a cloud in the sky. So I guess it's a good day for me to change the oil on the Street Glide. Let me show you what I got in here. We have oil change in the box from Maxim, which I have been assured is an awesome company. So I got it. So we're gonna make sure we got everything we need here. So here's the stuff for the engine. I've got 5 20W50 quarts here, and then over here I've got 1 transmission and 2 primary, which is a little strange. Oh, also we got filters here, and I did make sure we have stick in here. We got enough O-rings here for the transmission and the primary, and I have another one just for another one in there just for the engine. The funny thing, so they're all the same O-ring, which is convenient. So see, you can't get them backwards, don't sweat that. I did though go ahead and do some therapy. Did I say therapy? Research online. So make sure we had enough here. This is straight from the Harley Tech Manual. Engine oil, 3.8 liters, which comes to exactly 4 quarts. If they send you 5, I guess they need to send you some extra. It is a Harley. It's going to vaporize out and leak. And it's got the torque specs, 14 to 21 foot-pounds. And then over here on the transmission, same thing. I've got torque for the drain plug, and then 0.83 liters, which is 0.9 quarts. And then also the torquage to tighten that up, 14 to 21 foot-pounds. And I also did the research for the primary, which will take 34 ounces, which is 1 liter, which is a little over a quart, which is why they give you 2 quarts. So we're gonna fill this though to all the way up to the tops. First, before we get started on this today, I have a sponsor. So let's listen to some words for our sponsor. You're gonna enjoy this. It'll excite you. I got all the bikes pulled out today. We're gonna go ahead and I warmed that one up. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just part this bike out. The tank I bought for the pump inside, the fuel sender, the reservoir, the cooler, the engine, and then I have tires for it that I haven't put on. So I'm just gonna sell all that stuff outright, try to make my money back on it. Because riding it today, I got it out and feels like, I don't know, it could be just the front tire, but it really feels like the front forks might be a little wasted on this one. So I'm going to, instead of spending any more money on it, getting into the dash, getting all the extra stuff on it, I'm just going to part it out. This bike you guys should probably be very familiar with. It is my old Sportster, the 21. Has been gone through, I think this is the 4th paint job that it's had since I've owned it. I think this is probably the one that it has the longest. I'm going to keep this paint job on it. I feel kind of bad. I have not brought this bike out of the garage except to move bikes around since I got this bike. This bike obviously being my most favorite one now. I am going to be bringing this Porsche out when it warms back up a little bit here, but right now this is my favorite bike. It's the one I spend the most time on. Having said that, it's due for an oil change. So I do like to use this. This is my bike chock. I'll stand her up. So one thing about this bike chock, you guys, if you have it, unless you bolt it to the ground, you got to have something to stop to drive against. So what I've got is this is a car chock off of Amazon. This is just to chock the wheels to kind of measure yourself in the garage. So I bought one of these, and I've had it for a while. But what I do is this: I drive the bike up on this, and this stops it where I can drive the bike through this, because it is kind of takes a lot of force to push it up onto the stand. So to keep remembering to bolt this down in the garage, I'm doing this way. So let's go ahead and get the bike in here and get it tied down, and let's get the change in the oil on this sucker. it's almost hold it up all by itself, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the straps on it. So let's get some straps on this sucker. They definitely don't want her falling over on me while I'm under it. All right, so I've already said the all the O-rings are the same size. All the drain plugs are the same size too. They're all a 5/8, which I think is also a 17 millimeter. But since it's American iron, I'm gonna use a 5/8, even though it's actually probably a 17 millimeter. So let's go ahead and get these drains off. So I've got her up in the upright position here. I went ahead and put her straight up and down. And when we go to fill it, well, that's bright. Let's bring this down a little bit. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna go to fill it. I'm gonna put it on the side stand like it says, except for the primary, which I'm going to keep it straight up and down because this says straight up and down. This whole reason I got the wheel chock was for that, for the Sportster. So I'm gonna do it for this one too. As long as I don't overfill it, it should be good, right? So let's go ahead and access this thing and get some oil out of it. So I've got my Harbor Freight drain oil. This thing holds, let's see, 18 quarts. I've only got, let's see, 4 quarts, 6 quarts, 7.5 quarts put in it, so that should be plenty. So let's get this loosened off and get her draining. Let's do the main engine first because that's the biggest one. And if I do drop the drain plug into it, should not be a big deal. I'll just wait for it to drain. All right, we got our drain in. Let's go ahead and pull our dipstick to maximize our flow. Oh, all right, so we got it cracked. That's enough. I don't want to go full bore with it because the oil is really hot. And I don't want it spraying across the garage. So, all right, let's get paper towel here. We'll wipe this off. We're gonna go ahead and check the magnet, make sure there's nothing crazy in there. And this O-ring, not really deformed, but since I got extra O-rings anyway, just go ahead and change them. It's a rubber one. If it was an aluminum or a crush washer, I'd probably go try to get 2 uses out of it. But these O-rings, they go pretty fast, so I'm gonna drain. All right. So I'm going to, in this case, use a cardboard box to get it out of the way. And I'm going to pick the O-ring out of here. All right, and like I said, it's not too, let's see if I can get it back here. It's not too deformed, as you can see. I don't know if you can see black on black here. It's not too deformed, but I am going to go ahead and change it. So let's clean our plug. That's still draining. And we'll go ahead and get all the gook out of this. Look like somebody tried to put some kind of thread sealant on this at one time. It was a little white. Maybe try to put some Teflon on it. So I will dig around inside the on the drain pan threaded hole, make sure there's nothing hanging out of it, because that would mess you up for sure. So let's take our new O-ring here. All right, that was ready to go back in. Now we just wait for this other one to drain. And we do have to remember not to get in a hurry and do something dumb like put all back in it before we pull off the filter. That'd be a bad thing, probably. Last 3 or 4 days I rode in the rain, so I have the muslin bag on this. Very cool muslin bag. I got it off of eBay. It was like 10 bucks. So air cleaner looks better without it, but it performs better with it. Kind of looking at it also, it seems like I need to probably clean the air filter. I'll do that. Do that next week after I get the right stuff to put on it. She is almost done draining. So I'm going to go ahead and get the drain plug back in there. A beautiful bike. It is at a little bit of an angle if you guys are trying to put this in blind. If you're trying to stick it in straight, it will not go in. It is a little bit of an incline in there. And the hole is inclined where to make sure all the oil gets out of it, doesn't stop on the threads. All right, finger tight for now. I am going to go back with the torque wrench and torque it to the right specs. For now, that one's good. Now we got to get that out of the way. Now we're going to drain the transmission. That's cool. It gives me a good opportunity to get some oil on these Allens here, because I don't usually use the ones at home very often. I'll use the standard ones more often now that I have this bike. And now let's pull the drain plug. All right, next verse, same as first. Crack her open. Get the drain or the drain pan pulled into position here. It only takes 2 fingers, but it's 1 finger on each hand, so don't want to mislead you here. Once that's open, we're going to open up our transmission drain a little bit, get some more air into it. That actually looks really clean. But either way, drain it. Same thing here, we're going to pull this O-ring off of here. And this is why, so it may not seem like 18 to 22 foot-pounds is very much force, but you got O-ring in there, and it does most of your sealing for you. You don't have a crush ring to crush. If there was a crush ring, you'd need to put probably a little bit more force into it, but O-rings are very substantial. All right, we got our second one ready to go here. Look how pretty it is. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And again, move our used O-rings out of the way or we don't accidentally reuse them. And wonder where all this oil is coming from on the floor, and I keep finding it's all over my glove. Now I know a lot of books will tell you that you can use the same oil in the transmission and in the engine and in the primary. For this bike, for the Milwaukee 8, use what it tells you to use. Don't try to use the same stuff. I know I like listening to old timers a lot, but in this case, let's do what the manual says. I'm not really one of those don't void the warranty guys, but for this case, yeah, take care of your engines. Okay, that's done draining. So let's get the plug back in that. Down here looking at my tire, and I think it's about time we get a new back tire. All right, so we're finger tight. Now let's go to this side. Third verse, well, almost same as the first. We're gonna go ahead and change gloves because I've kind of moved some stuff around here. That's the good thing about gloves is you can just peel your gloves right off and you have clean hands. You can do whatever you need to do, pick up all the crap you need to pick up, throw some more gloves on, you're good to go. All right, so we're switching sides now. We're gonna come to this side. Come to the pretty side. I guess that's actually depends on what you think the pretty side is, whether you think the engine side or the transmission side or the primary side's better, but this is the pretty side. It's the chromey side. Not that I care about a whole lot about chrome, but. All right, so making our way back to this side. We still got plenty of room in our drain pan here. I had to go for a drink myself here. Water, if anyone's concerned. Get those ready to go. And again, 5/8 socket. Get down here where we can see really well. I will say the only one you really need a socket for is the transmission. The primary and the oil pan you can get to really well with the engine with a regular open end or a speed wrench. That looks rich. So I can get you up here. Take a look at how dark this is before it all drains out. Yeah, she looks very dark. Hope that's not for boating. Just watch the cloud there. Yeah, that's so far that's the worst looking oil. Okay, hey, no problem, no problem. That's what we're here for, right? All right. And now we're gonna check look at this. It does have a little bit of particulate in there, but that's also where our clutch is, so it's more muddy than anything else. Probably like clutch plate material. And that's why you warm her up first, get all the stuff washed out of there and where everything will drain out. And then one more round with our little pick here, without stabbing ourselves in the finger and getting tendinitis. All right, nice and cleaned up. And another little use for the pick here. And she's on there. Make sure you shove her all the way to the bottom. Don't leave her up in the threads. 9 times out of 10, it'll push back the threads and get into a socket, but you never want to take that chance. All right, let's wait for the rest to drain. While we're waiting for that to drain, we can go ahead and bust this loose. This is a Torx bit 27. So let's just crack all these little, these aren't very tight. Shouldn't be. So, manual said you don't need another seal for this, so I didn't get one. If you had a paper seal, you would. We got a gasket in there, so it shouldn't. I say shouldn't, and I probably think I just jerked myself, but. All right, let's get something to put the screws into, because I won't lose them. I feel like I should move them away from the oil pan, just in case. Let's go and get the oil plug in. Like I said, you can fish them out of there, but I'd rather not do that. Okay, hand tight for now. Okay, good to go. I'm gonna do it just in case. So now that I've got everything drained in here, I'm going to go ahead and put the plug back in this and now take that off. That way if anything is on the lip, you can burp out. I'm not going to be leaving a lake in my garage. Pop her off. Alright, so gasket looks good. Make sure we can see that in the bridge. Yep, so the gasket looks really good. There's no crushes, no crap all over it. Cool. Put that over there. Put the eagles down where they can't mess anything up there. We're going to get a flashlight. We're going to look inside there and make sure that there's no crazy stuff inside there. Alright, so I'm just looking down inside there. Looking at the bottom of the pan. I don't know if you can see very well, but down there in the bottom of the pan, you can see it's nice and clean down there. There's no goop down there, no metal pieces. This itself looks pretty good. Score, I'd say she looks pretty good. Whoop, just clicked. I think she just slid. That's why I keep the kickstand down. Let's go ahead and tighten that strap on the other side back up a little bit. I was going to mention this at the end, but this might as well do it now. Anything that you want to make sure you have level when you fill. I'm checking the bike, make sure the straps are straight, and make sure it's straight up and down in there. That's about as straight up and down as I can get it. Well, all that's left to do now is do the oil filter. So let's do the oil filter. Maybe I should take her out of the yoke. Okay, let's do this. Before we do that, let's go ahead and do the transmission where I can, that's the only thing I have to do that's level. So let's go ahead and get our torque wrench. We got her set at 20. Let's get our transmission plug, or our primary plug torque. All right, there we go. So now let's go ahead and fill this bad boy up. All right. So according to the manual, this takes 1.1 quarts. So we're going to go ahead and put a quart in there. I am using the primary oil, in case any of you guys are trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. There will be plenty I'm going to do wrong. And since I can't seem to get that top off there, I'm going to use our pick tool again. There we go. We made our own pull tab. All right, let's get it in there. Get it in there. Getting a little too aggressive with the fill there. Good thing I got more than 1 quart. For you guys, I got the garage closed up today, and it is a pretty warm day. It's not going to be warm the rest of the week, but it's a little warm in this garage. I'm doing this for you guys. You're welcome. If you guys got anything sassy to say, well, that's what the comments are for. Throw them in there. We're all here to learn. I've only got like 40-something years of doing maintenance. Harleys are relatively new, so there's always something you can learn. What I've learned in 40 years of maintenance is, well, you don't know it all. There's something to learn every day. That's why I'm on channels like Joe the Mountain Jedi. And I go on Rev-It. And I go on channels like the Motorcyclist channel, where they teach you maintenance. Because there's always something to learn. Never be that cocky guy that doesn't think he has something else to learn. All right, so comparing this to the picture here, it says fill to the bottom of the slippery disc, which is almost exactly there. I mean, if I was going to add anything to this, it might be like a little slurp, but I think it's there. I would rather underfill it by like a ½ ounce than overfill it by anything. So let's see. It does say in here, amount is approximate, fill at the bottom of pressure plate OD with vehicle upright. I say that's there. So I feel safe saying that is enough. So let's clean her up, put our plate back on. Make sure the eagles are facing up or you'll lose horsepower. I heard that. Never let your eagles fly upside down. And just like tires, you don't want to tighten them all the way down. When you bring them in, you don't even want to be snug. You want to just let that gasket meet. And when all of the gasket is meeting, well, then you can tighten her up snug and then go as tight as you need it to go. This gasket is measured in inch-pounds, so I would advise you guys, don't put a whole lot of ass on this. Definitely what you don't need is a cockeyed gasket. And then use your star pattern, which basically means skip 2 till everything is tightened, and then go around and just tighten. And I'm only going until I can't tighten it by hand. And then I'm going to barely do my skip 2 again. And I'm using thumb pressure only. All right, I'm gonna call that good. Now let's get it off of here where I can drain the filter without making a huge mess. Let's see. Well, I got time here. I am gonna go ahead and tighten up, torque down my engine drain plug and my transmission drain plug. So do that now before I forget, because I will. Good there. Transmission. Good there. All right. Tight. Now I feel better about my life. And let's not put the engine oil back in until we change the filter. Let's do that. All right, we got the just in case pan underneath the engine there, just in case. Well, no, just in case. I don't think very much is going to come out, but one, since I drained it with it sitting straight up, and two, anything now is going to drain back this way. So let's get this in there. Let's get it facing the right way first. There we go. Nope, had it right the first time. Okay. When you guys tell me that? It works pretty well, but I'm trying to hang on something. Oh, there's a plug down there hidden. Okay, well, I got her loose. Guess that's good enough, huh? I can tell you this is why you don't tighten the crap out of these things. Okay, so she's loose. Definitely gonna make a mess. I'm okay with that. Cool, did not spill a lot. Let's throw a napkin down and clean whatever else is coming out of it. So for the interest of, I don't know if you saw that, this is my favorite kind of filter to put on. Mostly because it's got a socket on it. You don't have to worry about getting something around it. I got lucky this time. Didn't have to take plugs off or anything because that would be awkward. All right, so we're gonna look up inside there. Make sure there's nothing wrong with the mating surface. Make sure a gasket didn't fall off inside there. Looks all right. Okay. And quickly as we can, we're gonna put all this back together. Let's take our filter. Hey, look. See, that's why I keep these things around. I'm gonna get a little bit of oil. Did it again. All right. Now you don't want to put, you'll hear a lot, fill this thing all the way up. Don't fill it all the way up. That's dumb. Put enough in there to soak the media. If you fill it all the way up, as soon as you dump it over, it's going to fall out. Get some on your filter or on your seal here. Rest of it, just spin it around until it soaks into the media. That's all you really need. Like I said, anything else is just going to make a mess. Now let's go get a socket for this. Let's get this sucker put on here. So this one, surprisingly, is not a 5/8, it's an 11/16. Yeah, I'll make the shot. I'll call the shots here. Okay. We're in there. Got this little ratchet here. Look, make sure it's sealed up. Looks sealed up. Okay, sealed. Good to go. Now, we're going to put 4 quarts of oil into it. Let's do that. All right, let's put this whole 1 quart of transmission fluid in here because she feels a little thirsty. Oh. All right. Make sure I'm in the right hole. Gets the transmission. Yep. It's getting hotter in here. Hope you guys are entertained. All right. I'm not sure why the transmission doesn't have an actual cap and a level dipstick that you can actually take off with your fingers. Maybe that's to make it more shop friendly and you won't want to do it yourself. I don't know. I know this. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. So we're going to put 3 quarts into there. And then we're going to crank it up. We'll skip to that part. Alright, so we got 3 quarts in there. So we'll go ahead and crank her up. Most important thing was that we lost that oil pressure light very soon after we cranked it up. You're gonna have it for a little bit, maybe 5 seconds. If it goes more than maybe 7 seconds, shut the bike off. You can try to restart it again, but I wouldn't run it anything more than 5-7 seconds if you don't have that oil light. So let's put that last quart in, and then we get to run her around and see how she's running now. She sounds a lot better already, but let's get her out on the road and let's check her out. Alright, got all the kids pulled in. There they are, all safe and sound. Ready for work tomorrow. I'm ready to get on to Thanksgiving. Eat some turkey. If you guys haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you guys next week, I guess. Don't forget, Friday night we're gonna have another Friday Night with Friends. Check in there. Saturday night we're gonna have another interview. So check in. Alright, guys. If you haven't already, go down below, buy a shirt. It doesn't cost much to keep the channel going, but it sure ain't free. So if you feel like it, buy a t-shirt, buy a mug, throw something in my Patreon, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. Woo!